Dandy has a soft spot for a lonely dog they find on a marooned machine planet. In my review of Space Dandy, Episode 8. Space Dandy takes your expectations, shoves them right up your ass, and makes it blow up with a Death Star laser of pure dandiness. This was another awesome episode of this highly entertaining brand new anime series, and I'm really starting to appreciate a lot of things about it. First and foremost, Space Dandy does whatever it wants. There's zero continuity between the episodes, and there's pretty much no consequences for the actions of our characters, and yet everything manages to be very enduring, and every story has a message to tell. And whether it be completely serious or ridiculous is really up to the creators of the show, and I like that because they really are not like restricted by anything. And this episode was sort of like walking the line between both of those, because the first half of the episode was a little more serious, and the second half was a little more traditional, like the stuff we've seen from the other LSD-infused scenes from Space Dandy. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. First and foremost, something of interest. I was watching this on Toonami tonight, and typically on the Toonami broadcast, they have a very short intro for the American release, which is pretty much all instrumental, and tonight they decided to show the entire Japanese intro. I'm not sure why they decided to do this, but I think it's awesome. It gives the Americans a chance to check that one out if they're not watching it online. The main focus of this episode is getting to see Dandy and the crew on this giant junk-ridden planet, and they discover there is only one life form living on it, and it's this dog. And this dog happens to be named Laika, and the connection here is that it's actually related to the real-world Soviet dog Laika, who was sent into space and orbited around the Earth before dying. And what's really cool here is they actually try to make it seem as if this is the same exact dog. And what's also really cool about this is it makes you wonder, if a dog could talk, what would it say? And we actually do get to find out in this episode, because Dandy has his, like, alien communicator, and whenever the dog barks, he can actually hear what she is saying. And yes, it is a she, because Dandy knows a bitch when he sees one. Dandy becomes very attached to this dog, and there's some pretty funny scenes between QT and Meow. Meow seems a little threatened by this dog at first, but he's actually pretty, like, enamored with it. And this is all leading up to the scene where Laika actually passes away. But Laika had these two stowaway tiny aliens that were living on her back. And when they first introduced these guys, it was pretty obvious that they were on the dog. It made it seem like they were sort of like in this big field of wheat. But I don't know, maybe it's just because it was reminding me of the episode with the fleas from Rocko's Modern Life. Never thought that I would compare Space Dandy with Rocko's Modern Life. But anyway, this is where it leads into the second half of the episode, where they have these two stowaways, which have actually gotten on Meow. These two twin aliens are very important for a number of reasons. One, they're the last of their species, and they have the ability to control machinery, and they actually do take control of QT, because one of them actually ends up getting killed, and he tries to get revenge for his brother, but he ends up getting stomped too. But the other reason they're very important is because apparently when they die, so does their planet. And, you know, it's not too surprising. This isn't the first planet that's just decided to destroy or explode in Space Dandy. But what's really funny about the scene is when Dandy and the crew are actually escaping from this explosion, which is actually turning into a black hole, the Gogol Empire is actually making its way right past them, because they're trying to catch Dandy, and they end up just going right into the black hole, presumably killing them, but because no continuity, we know they're probably going to be okay. But otherwise, this was an interesting episode. I really liked all of the scenes with Laika, the dog. You know, I think a lot of people who've ever had a dog or anything can kind of understand the relationship you have with them. It really is like having a sibling or having like a family member. And Dandy seemed like he was pretty obsessed with Laika the minute he saw her. It was really funny when he was trying to get her attention for the first time, the things he was doing, like acting like a gorilla, and then as soon as she walked up, he just grabbed her immediately. It was a very funny scene, and, you know, it was handled well, and it wasn't all that ridiculous. And the whole death scene thing at the end when they were trying to connect Laika with the actual dog Laika, I thought that was very interesting. You know, I'd like to see what else they're going to try to do with that for the rest of the series, because I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want, and like I said, if anything, this episode was very entertaining. Dandy even said he had the feels, and that's what this episode delivered, the feels in spades. And of course, there was a lot of really good animation. All of the characters were incredibly expressive this week, especially Meow. He's a character who's starting to really grow on me quite a bit. The scene where QT was being taken over by the small little alien was very funny, how her voice was changing just a little bit, and even the weird, like, face box was changing with its animation, like, had the thick eyebrows and everything. Just little touches like that, and of course, just little funny moments. Like, I thought the fact that when Dandy actually threw a beer at QT's face and it busted open, that beer is actually what sobered up QT and saved her. Just very strange, just little moments like that. But still, another pretty funny episode with a ton of great animation and two really great storylines which happen to intersect. So if you are following the series, make sure and check this one out. Remember, you can check it out on Toonami. It's the very first show of every single Saturday night. It's really, really fun to watch it there because you have all the cool Toonami bumpers and everything. Or you could check it out at Toonami's website or anywhere else online. So check it out, guys. Just another really fun episode. I'm going to drop a 10 out of 10 on this one just because I have no complaints with it. I just thought it was really entertaining throughout. Just a lot of little things that were hidden in the backgrounds and everything. This is the type of series that's worth rewatching a lot of times, if only for the humor and to see all the cool little hidden bits and the beautiful animation. So check it out. Cool episode. So if you guys had a chance to check out this week's episode of Space Dandy, it's time to let me know what you thought about it. Did you get the feels from watching this week's episode? Remember, guys, before you leave, hit that like button, give this video a thumbs up. It's one of the best ways to support our videos. And you can check out some of the other ones we're working on. I just reviewed One Piece, episode 634. I'll put that link in the description box below. Remember, guys, you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.